coming up tonight on the news at 6. Helena Mayor Wilmot Collins will deliver his State of the City address tonight. We have a preview. Plus, pro-life advocates demonstrate in Helena the same day lawmakers advance 4 bills aimed at increasing restrictions on abortions.
From Montana's news leader, this is MTN News at 6.
Good evening. Welcome to the news at 6. I'm Marian Davidson. Thanks for joining us. Well, after a year of unique challenges, Helena's mayor will deliver an update on where the city stands. Mayor Wilmot Collins will give the annual State of the City address during tonight's City Commission meeting. Now, this year, the address will be given over Zoom, another example of how COVID-19 has shaped city operations. Collins is going into the 4th year of his term as mayor, and he is expected to highlight accomplishments from various city departments and talk about priorities for the coming year. Now, we'll have a full recap of the State of the City tonight at 10. All right, now it's time for First Weather. And Curtis, I am so impressed by your balance.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, no costumes this week. We're going to be very serious. And ever since I got rid of that scooter, I can only stand on one foot here, everybody. There is by no means a scooter underneath me right now. How about those morning temperatures, though? Looking at numbers down below 0 in some parts of the state. Yeah, it was chilly. No records out there, but 5 in Great Falls this morning. 6 in the Helena Valley, 11 below in Elk Park. That's on the way down to Butte, America here. And look at some of the current wind chills. 1 in Great Falls. It's almost like it's January in Montana. 7 below up in Glasgow. Some chilly stuff certainly worked its way into the state for this weekend, and that will continue. We caught a little cold, and we will continue to be cold, but slightly warmer temperatures will be working our way. Where's the snow? Well, the snowbirds are getting the snow. The people that flee the north and head south, that's where it's falling. And February flakes. February not too far away, a week away right now. Let you know just how much snow we can expect for the beginning of the month. That's coming up.
All right, thanks, Curtis. Well, along mostly party lines, Republicans in the Montana House advanced 4 bills restricting or further regulating abortions in the state. The 4 bills include barring abortions after 20 weeks of pregnancy, restricting distribution of abortion-inducing drugs, a bill saying women seeking an abortion must be given a chance to see an ultrasound and listen to the heartbeat of the fetus, and a referendum that would be put before voters in 2022 saying any fetus born alive, including during an abortion, is a legal person. Now, both pro-life and pro-choice advocates made their stances on anti-abortion legislation well known earlier today. MTN's John Riley reports.
The legislation aimed at abortion in Montana passed second reading in the House of Representatives on the same day the annual March for Life rally was held, which seeks to end the practice of abortion. Earlier on Monday, pro-life demonstrators gathered at the state capitol, and a digital rally was held due to COVID restrictions. Pro-life groups praised this year's proposed legislation and are optimistic about furthering more pro-life issues after 16 years of Democratic governors.
We have larger Republican majorities in both the House and Senate than we've had in the past. Plus, we now have a governor that says he is pro-life as well, Governor Gianforte. So we're now hopeful that we're going to have a different outcome than we've had the last 16 years.
The Montana Reproductive Rights Coalition, a pro-choice organization, held a press conference following the House floor session decrying the legislation.
These bills represent the worst kind of government overreach, placing the government between patients and the medical care they deserve, criminalizing medical professionals, and attempting to scare and intimidate patients with outrageous misinformation.
The Montana Reproductive Rights Coalition have said if the legislation were to become law, it would most likely be challenged in court as unconstitutional. They also noted that similar abortion legislation in other states have been struck down in federal court. The abortion legislation heard on Monday is expected to pass both chambers of the Montana legislature. Party leadership anticipate it will eventually make its way to Governor Gianforte's desk. Both sides of the issue say they're preparing for when that day comes. Reporting in Helena, John Riley, MTN News.
The House also voted today on a pair of bills restricting the activities or treatment of transgender youth and school athletes in Montana. The House voted 62 to 38 for a bill that says school athletes in Montana must compete on teams that align with their gender at birth. And on a closer vote, 53 to 47, it endorsed a bill barring anyone under 18 from treatment or surgery for a sex change. The bills face final House votes this week, and if those succeed, will go next to the state Senate for consideration. Taking a look at Montana's COVID-19 situation, active cases of COVID-19 and hospitalizations from the virus in the state continue to decline week over week. As of today, there are about 4,200 active cases and fewer than 130 people hospitalized with COVID-19. The statewide death total is now 1,165. MTN uses a combination of state and local data to provide you with the most up-to-date numbers regarding COVID-19 in our state. And because of that, our numbers may differ from the state report. And Governor Greg Gianforte announced the launch of the COVID-19 vaccine dashboard today. The new tab on the Montana COVID-19 website has vaccine information like the number of vaccine doses administered and the number of Montanans fully immunized. As of today, more than 77,000 vaccine doses have been administered across the state, and more than 14,000 people have gotten both doses or are fully immunized. In Lewis and Clark County, more than 5,500 doses have been administered, with 874 people fully immunized. And in Cascade County, nearly 5,900 shots have been given out, with just under 1,100 people fully immunized. Statewide numbers are expected to be updated daily, and county numbers updated every Monday. And still ahead on the news at 6, we will lay out the next steps in the mining city's parrot tailings cleanup. Stay with us.
Montana's news leader. You're watching MTN News at 6.
Welcome back to the news at 6. Some big news in the mining city. Butte secured a contract and is ready to start the next phase of removing a century's worth of toxic mine waste buried in the center of town. MTN's John Amy reports.
The next phase of removing buried mine waste in Butte, known as the parrot tailings, is set to begin next month. This involves tearing down the current county maintenance shop off Civic Center Road, digging up the tailings, and hauling the waste to Montana Resources property.
It's a huge effort that will be taken. It'll be about 500,000 cubic yards of mine waste that will be removed out of that site. It will reclimate the site down to the level of what the Civic Center is, and the Civic Center Road will be closed during this time.
Butte's Intermountain Construction Services was awarded the $8.6 million project to remove the tailings, which should be completed by 2022. Once this is done, the city will consider reclaiming that land for some kind of public use.
We'll make sure that the public's involved in what we would like to see as land use of what's being cleaned up back there.
The county's new maintenance shop being built off Beef Trail Road is nearly complete, so operations can continue when the old shop is torn down.
We're hoping for a somewhat seamless transition, so they should. I mean, there's going to be a little bit of a hiccup to start jumping into the new place from the old, but there's been a lot of we have to keep certain things running at the old site, and then try to get them ready to quickly transfer to the new site.
The city is eager to get the second phase of the parrot tailings removal going, because that brings Butte a step closer to its ultimate goal of restoring the land.
We will be in those meetings and discussions every step of the way. So making sure that Butte gets exactly what was promised, and that any kind of changes or anything, we will be the ones driving the bus when it comes to making any of those changes.
In Butte, John Amy, MTN News.
All right, now with another look at the weather, here's balancing extraordinaire Curtis Grebeness.
How long can you stand on one foot?
Not
man?
as long as you.
I know.
I could try.
Guinness Book of World Records, here I come, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's take a look at some of the cold air. Yeah. Just on one foot right here. Cold air moved in. Some of that cold air will move out a little later on this week and this weekend, but as we head into February, more cold air headed our way with a little snow. I'll have more plus weather-wise about snowflakes coming up next.
Now with Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grebeness.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Ignore anything green down there. My eyes are up here. How many of you have heard that no two snowflakes are ever alike? Many of us, right? But have you ever looked? In this week's Weatherwise, we do look at the remote possibility of identical twin snowflakes. How can it be that no two snowflakes are alike? Each winter, there are about 1 septillion snow crystals that fall from the sky. A septillion is a trillion, or 1 with 24 zeros after it. The odds seem to favor the existence of two snowflakes looking alike. Some smaller needle or column-shaped flakes that fall in very cold air are shaped simply enough that they may look alike. But the more common six-sided dendrite flakes form in a way with so many random possibilities. Once that flake hits the ground, it's easy to see why finding two of them exactly alike is nearly an impossible task. Twin snowflakes are not scientifically or mathematically impossible. It's just that the odds are against you finding them. In a cloud, a tiny ice crystal forms around a single speck of dust. As water droplets freeze to and become part of the crystal develops 6 sides. At this point, most crystals look alike, but as more moisture is drawn into the crystal, it continues to grow and evolve. Snowflakes are blown around inside a cloud, with each one taking a slightly different path, encountering slightly different temperature, moisture, and pressure conditions. So as the typical 6-sided flake grows bigger and longer, they look more and more different from one another. As crystals fall from the clouds, they bump into other crystals, bonding and breaking, creating even more shapes. By the time flakes reach the ground, there has been enough individual changes that it's highly, highly unlikely to ever find two alike. So if you ever need to occupy the kids, have them go look for two identical flakes. While mathematically almost impossible, I'm saying there's a chance. And now you're a little more weatherwise. All right, and hence my love of snow. I'm always looking for those two identical flakes. That's how I injured myself here, looking for twin snowflakes. All right, Great Falls, a little chilly out there, all the way down to 11. Northeast wind at about 6 miles per hour, feels like 1 above 0. Hello, January. And Helena, that picture from Geyser actually towards the high woods, obviously a little late in updating. Helena, still nice to see some light in the sky, about 6:15, 24 degrees, north wind at 6 miles per hour. So yeah, some pretty chilly stuff has moved into the state here through the course of the weekend. We had some wind chills way northeast Montana, all the way down close to 20, 25 below at times this weekend. And wind speeds, 10, 15, 18 miles per hour out there. So when you have single digits and teens with a wind of that speed, that's going to do something to the wind chill. We have a wind chill factor. There you can see the radar, nothing here across most of the state. Now, the snowbirds getting the snow. Look down Southern California, around Las Vegas, Phoenix even, seeing some flakes of snow close to Scottsdale, Tucson. So those snowbirds that fled Montana, getting away from the snow, actually looking at some of the snow. We also have a little in the way of some snow extending from almost Colorado all the way to the east coast there. So there is some snow falling in parts of the country. Now, Montana, all right, there might be a little snow in the mountains here this week. Nothing tomorrow. Day very similar to today. For Wednesday, though, a little snow down Monida Pass, up over the Lookout Pass area. Maybe a little snow Wednesday off of the Rocky Mountain front, but most of the state still not seeing much, if any, snow. Thursday, again, a little snow west of the divide into Friday, but ooh, look at this. Friday night, maybe a little snow around Helen up through Great Falls and Lewistown into Saturday morning. Little snow, but it's something. Sunday looking partly cloudy, and then heading into next week around Tuesday and Wednesday. Tuesday is Groundhog Day. Every meteorologist's favorite holiday, a good chance at seeing some snow. Snowfall amounts, accumulation into the Sierra. We could see 5 to 8 feet of snow here over the next few days. That is absolutely incredible. Way high up, above about 9,000 feet. But the Tetons getting some snow, the Sawtooth getting some snow, northwest Montana getting some snow, but little to nothing east of the Continental Divide. Tonight, another chilly night. Many locations down into the single digits, even close to or below 0 in northeast Montana here. Wind chills 10, 15 below. Lewistown at 5. There's Showdown at 1 below. And around the Helena area, single digits for most locations. For tomorrow, Arctic high pressure off towards the northeast, so it will be colder the closer you get to that high. 16 in Glasgow, 31 in Missoula. For Wednesday, looking at partly cloudy skies, and here's some warmer air. Temperatures getting back close to average into the mid-30s. For Thursday, a little boundary here separating some colder air off north from some 40s down to the south, and then heading into Friday, this is when we may see just a little snow. Lewistown, Helena, maybe a few flakes as far north as Great Falls later in the day. Bozeman, Butte America, Dillon could see some snow here on Friday. Here's the 7-day forecast for Helena, and there you can see those temperatures on the upswing here slowly, and we may top out near 40 this coming weekend. Some snow showers again Friday night into Saturday. Maybe the hills around town could see an inch or 2. We'll have to watch next Tuesday, and for Great Falls, a chilly day tomorrow, slowly warming up later this week. A little snow shower activity Friday and Saturday, but the beginning of February, I'm seeing some changes.
All right, thanks, Curtis. Still ahead, President Joe Biden said that he is going to tackle the student loan debt crisis. Why people think that student loan forgiveness is necessary.
Montana's news leader. You're watching MTN News at 6.
Welcome back to the News at 6. President Joe Biden campaigned on a promise and is expected to tackle the student loan debt crisis by forgiving some debt. Alicia Nieves shows us why some think doing away with debt is necessary.
As a path to a brighter future, and it is for some.
I went to college because I was unhappy with my life. I wasn't finding any good jobs because I didn't have an education.
In 2005, Chad Albright enrolled at Millersville University of Pennsylvania, studying communications and public relations.
I worked full-time, went to school full-time.
In order to fully afford the education, he had to take out tens of thousands of dollars in student loans.
As soon as I graduate, January 2008 comes the Great Recession. No jobs available.
He struggled to find work and pay back his student loans for 4 years.
I was so frustrated not being able to find a job that I even tried to join the military.
But that didn't pan out either. Feeling hopeless about the possibility of ever repaying the debt, he made a decision to leave the U.S. and his debt behind. In 2011, he moved abroad.
The only thing college did was ruined my credit rating, forced me to leave my country. I haven't seen my mother in over 3 years.
People are committing suicide. People are fleeing the country. People aren't able to buy homes.
Alan Collins is the founder of Student Loan Justice. His organization has fought for more than a decade to try to get the government to forgive student loan debt and end student loan predatory lending practices.
Student loans, unlike every other type of loan, have been uniquely stripped of the most fundamental consumer protections. There are no bankruptcy protections for all intents with student loans, no statutes of limitations. Fair debt collection practice laws, truth in lending laws, these have all been vacated from student loans.
For the first time, though, since he started his fight, he's optimistic that a new administration in the White House and a Democratic majority in the Senate and the House could lead to some student loan forgiveness.
Bankruptcy protections absolutely must be returned to the loans that cannot be canceled.
At this point, it will take either full loan forgiveness or bankruptcy protection for Albright to come home. On principle, he refuses to pay the debt that never led to the job he needed and that he was allowed to rack up with little protection from predatory lending practices.
They have me and like 40 million other Americans in a debtor's prison.
I'm Alicia Nieves reporting.
All right, and we'll wrap things up here on the News at 6 when we come back.
Montana's news leader. You're watching MTN News at 6.
Welcome back to the News at 6. The $20 bill may soon be getting a makeover. President Joe Biden is moving forward with a 5-year-old plan to place abolitionist Harriet Tubman on the U.S. note. Tubman would replace Andrew Jackson. The White House confirmed steps are being taken to make the changes, saying the country's money should reflect the history and diversity of our country. If the change is made, Tubman would be the first black person to be placed on U.S. currency. And that does it for the news at 6. We'll be back here tonight at 10 with your latest headlines and another look at the weather. We'll see you then.